If you could download the operating system of a serial billion-dollar company builder, what mental models does someone like Brad Jacobs use to create giants like GXO? Brad Jacobs, the name, is synonymous with staggering business growth and industry disruption, most recently demonstrated with the formation of success of GXO Logistics. His accolades tell part of the story, but the real value lies in understanding the thinking that led to those achievements. How does he see markets? How does he structure deals? How does he drive performance? It's time to decode the blueprint. You're about to learn the mental models from Brad Jacobs' career, giving you the tools to apply these powerful concepts to your own business and venture, creating immense success and helping you build your empire. So, I'm going to be going over multiple topics and Brad Jacobs' approach for those topics. The first one is core principles and values. Brad operates from several foundational principles that guide his decision making: accountability and honesty. He values uncompromising honesty in himself and his leadership teams. When talking about his team members, they are super honest and possess integrity. All three, which are his successors, are married to the business. Value creation mindset. I measure success on many different levels. One is shareholder value creation because we're a for-profit business, he explained. Every decision is filtered through the lens of whether it will create substantial value for shareholders. And problem-seeking orientations. Problems are not an asset, not something to avoid, but something to run toward. Jacob writes in his book, he deliberately seeks out difficult situations. Others avoid seeing them as opportunities. Intellectual humility. I consider myself a student. I'm always learning. I never mastered any industry, he admitted in his Forbes interview, highlighting his commitment to continuous learning despite his success. How does he approach hiring and talent management? A player focus. If you hire a B player, they'll probably hire C players. Then they'll have C players led by B players. Yikes, Jacob writes. He is relentless about hiring exceptional talent, often seeking people smarter than himself. How does he structure the interview process? In his book, which I highly suggest you get, Jacob outlines 46 core interview questions he consistently uses, demonstrating a systematic approach to evaluating talent beyond gut instinct. When it comes to hiring talent, it shouldn't be a gut instinct. It should be a systematic approach. What is his approach when it comes to talent retention philosophy? An organization is like a party. You only want to invite people who bring the vibe up, he states, emphasizing the importance of positive energy in his organizations. How does he compensate them? He believes in overpaying, quote unquote. You can never overpay for talent, FYI. Exceptional talent compared to market rates, recognizing that A player deliver disproportionate returns on investment. Remember that. A players deliver disproportionate returns on investment. What is Brad Jacobs' decision-making framework? Well, quadrant analysis. He uses a 2x2 matrix approach for evaluating deals and opportunities, categorizing them by the size and risk level, then deliberately targeting big, hairy deals with solvable problems. He does a dialectical thinking approach. Being dialectical means looking at something from different perspectives and interpreting it in multiple ways that are all valid. he explains in his book, showing his commitment to examining issues from multiple angles. And that is a superpower. To be able to look at a problem at multiple angles is a superpower, because you'll be able to see the blind spots. You'll be able to see and look at how to approach the problem or the current issue. Cognitive behavioral approach. When I notice I'm feeling anxious about something, I ask myself a basic CBT question. What's the worst that can happen, and how would I cope with that? This framework helps him manage anxiety and make objective decisions. I'm going to repeat the question again. What's the worst that can happen, and how would I cope with that? And if you ask yourself that question whenever you're making a big decision, you're going to realize that it's not that bad, and there's going to be a way out. He is very data driven. So he said, I've never taken for granted that we would be successful. I always thought we would be better, stay sharp, because unexpected things can hit us, revealing how healthy fear of failure drives his vigilance. What's his approach when it comes to mistakes, failures, and pivots? Well, acquisition missteps. I've overpaid for acquisitions and botched integrations, he admits in his book. These experiences taught him to be more disciplined in deal evaluation. What about delegation and errors? Well, Brad said, I've delegated tasks I should have done myself, he acknowledges, which informed his understanding of when to maintain control of crucial functions. Strategic bets. He said, I've made strategic bets that didn't pay off, he admits, which led to his approach of maintaining flexibility and continuous reassessing strategic direction. What is his negotiation style? I wasted a lot of time early in my M&A career because I thought I could pay less by playing hard to get. I learned it's better to let the sellers know how excited I am to do a deal and the price and terms that work for me, showing how he adjusted his approach based on his experience. So he changed his experience over time. Leadership style. This one is very important. Leadership style. Communication focus. You have to communicate, then over-communicate on top of that, he emphasizes in an interview, highlighting the importance of clear, consistent messaging. And I always tell people when I'm doing business deals, in a relationship, you can never over-communicate. Keep communicate, and it will solve a lot of problems when people communicate and continuously communicate to the point where it's feeling like it's over communication. All right. His leadership style is empowering through questions. His practice of asking employees, what are you doing that we would be crazy to change? What are you doing that's not so great that we should change? What's your best idea to improve the company? So those 3 questions demonstrate his approach to empowering others. And when you ask those questions to your staff, key personnel, it makes them feel empowered, and it helps them buy into the vision, buy into the mission. Balance autonomy. Brad gives high performers considerable freedom while maintaining accountability. There are only 2 things that you have to manage as a CEO, and that's allocation of capital and time. Allocation of capital and time. And I've seen this pattern a lot from big, great, amazing organizations. They give the high performers a lot of freedom, autonomy, but also maintaining the accountability, which is the important part. Respect-based integration. We were extremely respectful to the people. We never went into an acquisition with an arrogant attitude that we had all the answers. He explained, showing how he builds buy-in during organizational changes. And that is, culture will destroy, if there's not a culture fit, it will destroy an acquisition, or it will destroy a merger. So you got to make sure that when you are integrating, merging or acquiring organizations that there is a culture fit. And if there isn't a culture fit, you need to get to have the organization buy in into your vision and mission. What is Brad's innovation tactics? Well, he has a structured feedback loops. We're constantly soliciting feedback from organization. We ask, what's your single best idea to improve the company? This approach systematically harvests innovative ideas from across the organization. Brad is a technology first mindset. You want to get one ERP system as soon as possible, one CRM system, one HR system. He explains, demonstrating his belief in standardized technology platforms as innovation enablers. He has a cross-fertilization strategy. We don't impose our culture on the company we bought. We like to keep and maintain those amazing qualities and cross-fertilize them to show to the acquiring part of the organization, showing how he blends different cultures to drive innovation. And that is an art. Cross-fertilization is an art. It is very, very tough to do because you have to manage different people, different personalities. And that's why I suggest that you should learn a lot of psychology, study psychology, learn personality types, because it's going to be very helpful when it comes to understanding different types of people, what buttons, motivations, fears. And if you have a better understanding of how people behave, you'll be able to do the cross-fertilization strategy because of your understanding of human behavior. Rinse, wash, repeat method. For scalable innovations, Jacobs create templates that can rapidly replicate, form a template for a structure of an office, and keep opening them throughout the country. What is Brad's financial strategy? Well, like my last video, he loves valuation arbitrage. The arbitrage between our cost of capital and what multiple we're able to buy companies at the highest, biggest value creation lever in a roll-up, he explains, highlighting his financial engineering expertise. He likes capital structure optimization. He said, sometimes the way to create shareholder value is to buy back stock. Sometimes it's through deleveraging, showing his flexible approach to financial management. Depending on the method, depending on the situation, you need to have these financial tools, financial weapons in your belt. So you need to be financially flexible. Industry scaling focus. He said, one of the first things I look at in an industry is scalability. I want to be able to envision how I'll take a business from a few $1 million to tens of billions of dollars, revealing his long-term financial planning approach. What is his value creation hierarchy? Improving the actual profitability of the business is the second biggest lever, demonstrating his understanding of relative impact of different financial strategies. How does he approach partnership or networking? Well, he has a continuous outreach. He said, I talk to everybody. I talk to lots of friends, a lot of people in different industries, other CEOs and bankers, he explains in his interview. He's always opportunity sourcing. His approach to finding new ventures is deeply network-based, leveraging connections across multiple industries to identify opportunities others might miss. He has a cross-industry pollination. He said, I'm going to Silicon Valley to meet with the VC friends and see what's in their portfolios. And I'm talking to my private equity friends about their portfolios, showing how he draws insights from diverse industry sources. Industry analysis through relationships. He uses his network to gain deeper insights into potential industries. I'll talk to some of our large shareholders about companies that are in their portfolios where a stronger management team could turbocharge the business. Scaling mechanics. Dual growth engines. United Rentals was both a roll-up and a roll-out, he explains, showing how he simultaneously pursues acquisitive growth and organic expansion. Integration velocity. On integrating technology platforms, you want to rip off the band-aid because you're not functioning at all at full level until then, demonstrating his approach to quickly standardizing operations. Accountability structure. He assigns clear responsibility for integration tasks. If you have one person accountable for each task, you are more likely to achieve it on time than if a group is responsible for it. Scale-driven investment. He said it enables you to create a state-of-art technology organization because you have the size to support that investment, showing how he leverages scale to invest in capabilities that create competitive advantage. Resource allocation. Capital allocation focus. There are only two things that you have to manage as CEO: capital and time. He likes a lean organization. It's better to slightly be understaffed, but not badly understaffed. A team that's appropriately lean has more concentrated focus and gets more done, revealing his preference for efficient operations. Strategic focus. If I had tried to do everything I wanted, I never would have accomplished anything big. Narrow your focus to your most important dreams and tune out everything else, showing his commitment to concentrated effort. And that is, a lot of people struggle with that today. Strategic focus. All right, standardization for efficiency. His approach for fast and standardized integration reflects his belief in creating efficient, replicable process to minimize resource waste. Problem-solving methodology. Structured question sequence. When addressing organizational challenges, he uses consistent questions framework to diagnose issues and identify solutions. Dialectical analysis. He examines problems from multiple perspectives. Collaborative solution development. He said we would get an avalanche of ideas every time we asked those questions. We discuss them in depth and follow-up questions, showing how he leverages collective intelligence. Cognitive reframing. Life can be uncomfortable, but you can accomplish a lot if you can figure out how to reframe the uncomfortable things in ways that allow you to utilize them, demonstrating his ability to transform challenges into opportunities. Your perception is your reality. This is very, very cognitive reframing is something that you should do when things are not going your way. Information processing and learning. So, multi-channel communication. You have to communicate through many channels, digitally, live, on Zoom calls, in town halls, in writing, showing his approach to both absorbing and distributing information. Trend analysis framework. Be a futurist and figure out the bullish and bearish trends driving your industry, revealing his focus on identifying patterns and future developments. Standardized due diligence. For acquisitions, he developed structured processes for information gathering and analysis, allowing his teams to efficiently evaluate hundreds of potential deals. He has a continuous feedback mechanism. His systematic use of surveys, questionnaires demonstrates his commitment to regular information gathering from all levels of the organization. Legacy exit strategy. Internal success development. He identified and developed 3 successors from within his organization, demonstrating his commitment to internal leadership development. Strategic spin-offs. Sometimes the way for us to do was by buying companies. Other times it was to sell parts of the companies we bought or even entire companies after we improved them. His flexible approach to corporate structure. His decision value maximization focus. His decisions about when to exit business are driven by shareholder value considerations rather than emotional attachment. Serial entrepreneurship. I'm leaving the CEO role in a few months. I'm going to be executive chairman and do another startup, revealing his approach of building, optimizing, and then moving to new ventures while maintaining connection to previous ones. What is his negotiation style? Transparent and enthusiasm. I learned it's better to let the sellers know he excited for the deal price and terms. He likes to create win-win deal structure. You need the discipline. He said you need the discipline to look at lots of opportunities and consciously select the very best. Then negotiate those in a way that creates a win-win highlight. Valuation discipline. Despite his enthusiasm, he maintains strict discipline around financial terms of deals, focusing on the arbitrage potential and improvement opportunities. Relationship-based approach. His negotiation style prioritize building long-term relationships rather than extracting maximum value in a single transaction. Time management and prioritization. Meeting efficiency. Okay, I confess that deep-seated aversion to boring meetings and share the techniques I used to make them electric, revealing his commitment to productive time use. Single focus discipline. I only do one thing at a time. I'm a serial CEO, demonstrating his preference for concentrated effort rather than dividing attention. Regular cadence of accountability. You need a regular cadence of checking in on progress on certain parts of the integration. That's daily. On other, it's more frequent, showing his structured approach to follow up and oversight. Through these mental models and decision frameworks, Brad Jacobs has created a distinctive approach to business building that has enabled him to create $7 billion companies across diverse industries. His combination of strategic vision, operational discipline, and people-focused leadership provides valuable insights for entrepreneurs and executives seeking to build significant enterprise. So that is his decision-making mental framework. Use these. And if you want to take control of your health, if you're having issues with brain fog, joint issues, skin issues, I highly suggest you try out Viome. I have been a user of Viome for years now. I recommend it to all my family and friends. And if you want to take control of what's going on in your body, it's going to recommend you foods that is specifically for your body, and it will do an analysis of a gut analysis and give you the right recommendations. Well, that's it. If you enjoy, make sure you subscribe, like, and see you on the next one.